Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the 39th episode of the hashtag Catch a Glimpse podcast. Here we are back. It's me, Skeeter, and I am joined by Ryan Snapperdoodle.
Yo, thank
Um,
you so much for inviting me on this episode. I mean,
no
it's been
problem.
like a world dream of mine to be on the Catch Glimpse podcast. I know you guys are very stocked up and
Yeah,
full for like all these episodes and stuff. You guys got like The Rock, Dwayne Johnson himself, Wiz Khalifa, freaking Cardi B, Doja Cat. That was a good episode that you guys had.
yeah, thank you, thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah, to all the listeners out there, it was really tough to get Ryan on the podcast.
I'm just so famous. It's just
I sent them a letter and then I texted him, I emailed them. I actually sent a blimp with a banner
Yeah,
asking
my
them.
assistant and publicist like saw that, but they were just like, yeah, well, let's see let's see how much he actually wants it. So,
Yeah, well, I guess it finally worked. Ryan's
yep,
finally on the podcast.
I'm here.
Just don't, I mean, you should go watch all the prior podcasts, but that is not the same Ryan Snapperdoodle.
No,
So
but and with
just
my
note that.
with my sheer
Yeah.
size, Frankie couldn't be here today because I just take too much space up. So
Yeah.
this is how it's gonna have to be. Too much
Yeah.
popularity. Frankie would have tipped it over. So
We have too much to talk about, so Frankie had to get booted off.
you're right.
So here we have two of us. It's gonna be a great podcast. So because you are the guest,
Oh yeah,
Ryan Snapperdoodle,
let's go.
not the other Ryan Snapperdoodle,
Right.
you.
I'm
Um,
Ryan Snapperdoodle from Earth 1725B.
yeah. So Ryan, would you like to start us off on the cat hashtag Casual Glimpse podcast with a question of sorts? Some would say,
Yeah.
you might be stealing from the other Ryan, but it's kind of like a Ryan's question.
Yeah. So Ryan from Earth 1764. The one that you guys know and love. He always used to ask these questions where people he just wouldn't know the answer, and he legitimately wanted answers to these questions, and the other two just made fun of him because he's trying to learn, and we haven't done that since I think episode 4. It was
Eh,
one of the in real life
something like
ones.
that.
But I thought we'd bring it back. I've been thinking. My mind's been going in circles with its little hamster wheel.
Yeah.
But
Ideas been brewing.
here we go. I got one for you. How do they get lead in pencils?
I'm gonna be honest. This one I have no clue.
Like,
This is
do they
like
do they
that.
have the lead and then they form a piece of wood around it and then it's being held by like the eraser bit at the bottom because of the metal?
So, first of all, that one show how it's made,
Yeah.
that would be a great source.
Okay.
But without looking at that, I would want to say it's the graphite in the middle,
Okay.
right? Like it's just that dowel of graphite. And then the wood is probably like
Pre-made.
I think it's probably like wood chippings that are maybe put into a mold and then it's compressed and set.
But okay, now think about it this way, right? What if they had pre-made pencils without the graphite inside of it, and then they had pre-made graphite, right? They have all the calculations down, like how much goes into the pencil. They just put a little glob of super glue on the graphite and they stick it through the hole.
Well, I think just, I mean, okay, so, wood can expand and contract. So
Okay.
maybe it is a preset cut out piece of wood like that. They drill the hole, they have the graphite dowel, they put it in, and then just the contracting of the wood holds it in, you know?
Right.
So maybe it is just two separate pre-cut pieces put together and then just,
But then shouldn't you be able to like pull out the pencil?
oh, pull out the pencil,
Like
like the actual
pull out the
graphite?
graphite, yeah.
No, because I think like it's
It's that
compacted
perfect
and
that it's like
well,
squeezing the graphite.
that's why I think maybe it's like wood chippings and it's like compressed, like formed, like molded almost.
Right. I mean,
I could see it being either way. So, any of you pencil makers out there?
I mean, yeah, you're the professional man. You tell me, pencil makers of the world.
Yeah. But I could place bets on either one of those.
I mean, I got another one if you want to hear
Oh
that.
yeah. Throw it out there. Ryan from
Yeah,
what
go
was
ahead
it?
and tell me my planet name. If you don't get it right,
Um
I'm leaving.
well the only obvious answer,
Right.
the cool planet.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I said
Oh,
it.
oh,
Yeah.
you're right. Yeah, that one.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Uh,
Here's another one. I got a couple more if you want to. I got a
all right,
couple.
yeah.
Okay, this one.
Throw them out there.
How do they make gloves? Is it like a pre-made hand mold? And like, whose hand is it? Whose hand?
Um well, okay.
Cause
So
like,
gloves
okay,
is just fabric with
no, no,
stuffing on
no,
the
no, no, no,
inside.
no, no. Latex gloves.
Oh, latex gloves?
Yes, because they're
Um,
ambidextrous, so you can put them on either hand, right? So whose hand is the mold?
well, I think it's just the shape of a hand. I
Right.
don't think it's any one hand. I think someone just drew a hand.
Okay. 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 Let's say there's a human, right? And one
Yeah.
finger is like massive, and then the other one's like really tiny. You can't have just, you know.
Well, that's why we take the average. Because like the glove sizes are just like small, medium, and large, you
Okay.
know?
Hmm.
So yeah, if you're some weird goblin man with one really long finger, I'm sorry, but you're gonna have to pick the large ones. You know, like I think they just average out the hand sizes and realize, okay, these are going to be the smalls. This is the medium. This is the large. I don't think it's like one dude like, okay, this is the medium hand, and then like,
They have
you
one.
know,
They got one guy sitting there like this, and they just run latex, liquid hot latex over his hand, and then
they
he's just
have
sitting there like,
no,
ah,
they have
ah.
three chambers, one specimen in each, one with a
Yeah.
small hand, a medium hand, and a large hand,
Right.
and they take them out of the capsules and form all the gloves.
They have multiple of
Yeah.
those guys, so it's like, okay, all right, Ernie, lunch break. All right, get in there,
Get out of
Ron.
here.
Get in there, Chad. It's your turn. He sticks his hand in the chamber, liquid latex into the chamber. Oh no! I don't know. Do we think it's like a mold?
Yeah,
Where,
I would say it's probably mold.
but
So I think
but
again
wait,
it's probably like
the inside has to be open.
well, okay. So what I think it's probably a bunch of data of average hand sizes.
Okay.
That's how they know the small, medium, and large. They probably do like a little bit above the average, just so that way, with those people with your weird big hands, and there you go, you can still fit in them. And then anybody with super small hands, you just pull it really tight. So then the latex, yeah, they probably do make molds.
Right.
I would guess it's probably like some. I would give it two options.
Okay.
Either it's um like a cast mold almost, like where you pour the latex in and it just fills up a tiny seam of, the outside of a latex glove, and then you let it set or whatever, and then it's like probably some automated machine. So then it takes out the mold and then it takes out the glove, puts the mold back in, pours more liquid in, and then takes
That's
out the
gotta take
mold, takes out the
forever.
glove.
Holy
But you
cow.
think if it's an automated machine, you probably have billions of those going at a time.
Yeah.
So I'd either go with that, or it's a mold done by like you have the mold block again, you have the latex, and then you have like a blower that shoots all the latex and like holds it against the mold, that type of pressure, and then that also dries it at the same time and it sets, and then it gets pulled out. I'd go with either one of those two. Um, I have no idea really, but that's what I'd
I
also
feel
bet on.
yeah, I feel
So
like how it's made would be just a great show for me. Cause I'd just be sitting there like, oh,
that's
what?
awesome. I
No
can make
way!
that.
It's like I've got 15 pounds of metal in my backyard. I can do that.
Yes.
But last but not least, Um, man, I got a lot here. I feel like okay.
I just find it funny, like you bringing in like two, like how is this thing made, and me with like
No.
no expertise on the subject at all, just like throwing random stuff out there,
Yeah.
hoping that it's right.
Oh. Oh. All right. Keaton's lagging on my end. All right, we're back. Technical difficulties just happened. I froze on Keaton's end, and Keaton froze on my end. What did I just say? Wait.
Yeah, something like that.
On
Yeah.
Keaton's end, I froze, and on my end, Keaton froze. But we're back. What were you were saying? Wait, talk.
So,
Okay, I thought desktop. Okay, everything's scuffed. This is the scuffed episode.
yeah.
We're
So,
keeping it in though.
sorry,
We're
Ryan from Cool Planet.
yeah
We're still figuring stuff out.
yeah we're keeping it in though because it's
It's real
real.
life.
It's real.
Yeah.
Stuff happens. But what were you saying?
I just said it was funny that like you asked me these questions and I have like no expertise on it, and like I'm throwing out these answers,
Yeah,
and
and
I thought
I
it was
believe you
funny.
100% of the time because you are the all-seeing eye of
Thank you.
everything. So,
Yep.
last one of my thoughts. All right. Okay. When you get married with someone, right? When you get married, do you have to use one of the last names that of like the wife or the groom, or can you make up your own last name?
I don't.
Because like, okay, you could have Mr. and Mrs. Stork or Mr. and Mrs. Puccio, you or
Mm,
like if that's the two last names, could you just make
I.
up like Mr. and Mrs. Flambadon?
That's a really good one. So maybe. Well, I know you can do. You pick either one if you want. You
Right,
can do hyphenated. You can do just keep yours respectively. Um, I mean, I would assume you could change it because you could just say like, all right, yeah, let's say Stork and Puccio get married, and then they both take Stork, right? But
right.
then you could just change your last name to Flambadon, and then you would both have Flambadon. So I mean, technically, yes.
I mean,
I don't
because you
think there's
can,
anything like within the marriage that says like once you get married, then you are now this. I
right.
think it's like a step after.
You can technically change your first name. So I mean, last name
Yeah,
isn't probably out of the normal. Okay, well, I mean, hey,
yeah.
if any of you out there want the name Puccio, just hit me up. You have my permission.
What NFT names?
Stop! Don't even put that into the universe. Somebody's gonna grasp on that and be like, "Hey, I just bought my NFT name. I'm going to the office right now to change
Wait,
it."
it's legit going to be like gamer tags. Like the first person that takes Ryan is going to be a Ryan, and then like if you want to go into the metaverse, you're going to have to be like Ryan 01 or like Ryan XX59 or something.
Oh my god.
Ryan from planet, whatever it was.
I can see people in real life being like, "Hey, I just bought the rights to the name Keaton. You anybody else Keaton out there, you got to change your name."
Yeah, you gotta change
What
it.
if that becomes a thing? That is so stupid if it does.
That is pretty
I'm just
dumb.
going to be called Ryan. I don't you can own the name, sure, but
Yeah.
whatever, right?
What are you
Yeah,
gonna do? Beat me up in the metaverse? You can't do
he's
anything.
gonna he's gonna hack into your account and find where you are and beat
Uh,
you up there.
mm,
But yeah, that's all I got for this episode. I don't want to spoil you guys too much with Ryan's questions,
yeah.
but
The
there's some pretty good ones in here that I don't even know if I could say live. But yeah,
we'll have to leave those for another day. So that gives you guys an excuse to tune in to the future
oh yeah.
Catching Podcast episodes.
Drop some questions that you have. I'll take the blame
Honestly.
for you for saying them.
Yeah, there we go. Um, but anyways, transitioning off of Ryan's questions, I think we're going to go into some recent news, some recent events
Yeah.
of the Optic Major.
Optic Major.
So,
It's a CDL for those of you who don't know, Call of Duty League.
yep.
Continue. Go ahead.
So the Optic Major went down. Um, like I'm not gonna explain all of like the winners bracket, losers bracket, all the standings that occurred. The standings are pretty much so throughout the season, the more you win, the better standings you have off the rip on the majors.
Right.
So it was the Optic Major. Optic along the way faced Phase. It's Optic Texas, by the way, for anybody like
Yep.
just coming back into the CDL. And so they faced Atlanta Phase and went 0-2, then reverse sweeped
Reverse
3-2,
sweep.
beat them, then went all the way to the finals, went against Phase again,
Right.
and then beat them 5-2.
I just want to point out. I sent you guys this TikTok in the group chat, but it was like comms from FaZe Clan, and somebody yelled. I think it was a was it a Beezy? Is a Beezy in FaZe?
Mm.
I think a Beezy yelled, "Wow, these guys effing suck!"
Yeah,
And then the Optic Texas reverse sweeps, and I don't know who stood up. Was it Clay? Is Clay
it
still a
was
part of Optic?
no.
No, who was it? Who
That
stood
was
up?
Dashy.
Was it Dashy? Dashy stood
Yeah.
up and put his hand in his
Yeah.
throat and looked around
Dude.
like, "Yo, what a choke was
Yeah, like a
that?"
choke. And like I was thinking about that and like okay, so like they reverse swept 3-2, absolute like that was insane.
Right.
But imagine then after Dashy does that, then they go to the finals and then FaZe beats them. You know that would be clipped everywhere like on like
Everybody on
FaZe's
FaZe
social
stands up and
media.
goes,
Yeah. But I'm like the way it went down is perfect, especially as it being the Optic Major for Optic to win it.
"Yeah,
It was a great event overall. It sucks because like that's like an event that you well at least anybody that supports Optic would want to go to the Optic Major because it's the Optic Major and they did a lot of cool stuff. So even just like seeing videos on it was really cool.
mm-hmm."
The
And
crowd was insane.
and music just
So
like enhances the hype over anything. Like, and
yeah.
with the clip that I showed you, that just showed. So that just got. I don't even watch CDL very much, and that got me hype over what was happening.
Mm.
Like, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, they definitely did a really good job on everything. Everybody's performance, at least on Optics side, was crazy. Like Dashy was insane, and I mean, of course, Scump was really good. Illy had some really good matches, and I really like Illy and Shotzi, like them being on the team.
Yeah.
Um, and it's weird to think about like then the prior season, having Formal and Envoy, and it's like Formal and Envoy. I mean, Formal's I would say just the GOAT in terms of COD.
Okay.
Um, so then it's weird like not having them and then they win an Optic Major because you definitely can't say it's Formal or an Envoy's fault
Right.
because they're insane. So it's just weird that it's probably just like a game to game type of deal because this game is definitely way different from Cold War.
Very different.
And
Yeah. Movement and everything.
yeah, and then you have like a lot of the teams have been saying it since the beginning of this season how like close competitively it is. Like there isn't really like one team that's like dominating, and there really isn't like any teams that are like, oh, we're gonna go into this team like knowing that we just have a win because they're bad.
I would say
So it's really
arguably. I would
close.
say arguably this game cycle has been the easiest of the CODs in recent years. I'd say it's been very like to pick it up. It's been very easy for everybody
Hmm.
because like
Yeah, I could agree with that.
you just need the right guns, and
Yeah,
with like the ranked system, you get the attachments and the weapons right off the rip. So like
yeah.
you just need the right setup, and you could be beaming people like what's his name? Oh, I'm trying to think of some AR people. Phase uh, Atrocity. I forget his name.
Tris Arcides.
Arcides. There you go. He's an AR. Like you could be beaming people like him. Uh, yeah, the game is very
Yeah,
easy
I
to pick
mean,
up.
and it was kind of I watched like a lot of Optic stuff after like their podcast, and like the unseen moments and stuff like that. And like they were saying, like with Vanguard being the game that it is, even though it's not like it's definitely not a good game from where they put it. Like competitively, it's pretty good
Right.
in terms of it's not like the most fascinating to watch necessarily, but in
Right.
terms of competitiveness, it's in a good spot. So yeah, like Vanguard's, and we've talked about it before on the podcast as well. Like Vanguard is such a weird fit in the grand scheme of COD games. Um, Definitely something like pubs wise and stuff like we want to get away from. But I'm happy that at least like competitively, it seems like it's a decent game for the players.
Yeah.
Not that they have to like, gruel through another, MW19. So I don't know. At
They
least at least it's
they will
decent that way.
soon.
Yeah. So I mean, hopefully Modern Warfare 2 2022 is
I
gonna
hope.
change some stuff.
I just hope they take note of what happened in the previous one,
Yeah.
change things, stick to 3 lane maps like the old Call of Duties did, and like, I think everybody will be happy. Obviously, Warzone will still be Warzone because it's a battle royale. People enjoy battle royales. They just need to get the ranked system down right from launch.
Well,
Change the
yeah.
map styles so that they're 3 lane. Even if they're huge, make them 3 lane, and I think everybody will be happy.
It literally needs to be because the games are gonna be 2 year cycles now. It literally just needs to be like every game from now on has to have ranked on launch and has to have, of course, like a well balanced game and the pubs are included. But I honestly think like ranked and gunfight should be a combo that's launched on start and gunfight tournaments on launch.
Yeah.
Like it needs to be from the beginning to give people more stuff to do so they don't get burnt out on one aspect of the game. And then like Warzone 2 is gonna come out, so hopefully that does something. But Modern Warfare 2 2022, and I'm always gonna say 2022 because I'm never gonna say Modern Warfare 2 without the 2022 because it does not deserve that name.
Yeah.
But hopefully because it's had so much time and it's already in, like alpha testing and stuff, I hope that this launch does mean that ranked is there straight off the bat. And then they've, like what you said, thought about what happened in MW19 and like how that just wasn't it. It was great to get those new players in.
Hmm.
They definitely catered toward those players, but hopefully now they do some transitioning with like making the mini map better. The like Vanguard maps I think are actually pretty decent, and that's just because they're not. Well, I mean, that's because they are like 3 lane and they're not like MW19 maps.
You haven't played
So
pubs very much, have you?
I know the maps.
Okay, well, there's this one with
I've
the
played
huge
ranked. The
gondola.
ranked maps are decent.
There's one with the huge gondola that people could just sit on the far right side with their mounting and their
I'm not
LMGs and just.
saying they're perfect.
Right.
I'm saying they're better than what we've had. And so I just okay. Would you rather have Vanguard's map plopped into MW 2022 or would you have rather have MW19 maps plopped into MW 2022? Because I'm taking Vanguard maps.
I liked some of 2019. I like some of Vanguard's. I just think just
Because
scrap them all and remake them.
I'm not playing Azir Cave. I'm not playing Piccadilly. Those
Okay.
can be put in F tier for the rest of life.
I liked Shoot House. Shoot House
Yeah,
was decent.
that was their only good map because they made it smaller, and that was
That's
it.
that's true. That's true.
So, so hopefully decent maps on launch, and then they can always add in like the other Modern Warfare maps to try and help it out.
Yeah.
But I hope it's good.
I want to steal a little bit from you. Gaming, just in general, this year is going to be insane. Recently, Overwatch 2 beta, PvP beta has been announced, which is, I think, is going to be happening this month or next month. Which,
Okay.
wow, holy, like they re-changed all the heroes. They
Mm.
added a new game mode. They're making a new map. They're adding new heroes. That I would like to try out. I want to see how that goes. Also, If you have something to say, you could
Yeah,
jump
I was
in.
just gonna say I really hope because like Overwatch is such a fun game,
Hmm.
and like I played, yeah, I played Overwatch. It was probably like 3 or 4 months after it launched. I like that was the first time playing it,
Yeah.
and then it was just like every on and off again I'd play Overwatch. And I know you've played tons of Overwatch, like you played ranked and you're high ranked. So like the game's great and like it's really fun. I hope that Overwatch 2 just gives it this like resurgence of popularity. Kind of like what Fortnite goes through,
Yeah.
where it's like the new season or new chapter drops and it's just like a big boom of, people
People.
playing it.
Yeah.
So I hope that's what happens with Overwatch 2 because it's a great game. I hope it just gets what it deserves.
Yeah.
So
And
yeah.
also another game that's coming out. Now, I don't know if you're too much into this type of game, but God of War Ragnarok should be coming out this year. And like yo, from what I've seen, okay, listen. I played the previous one, the one that's out now. I forget
Mm.
what it's called. Oh my god, it's on the tip of my tongue. Um dude, okay, whatever. God of War. They play all through that. They have God of War, Kratos himself, and his son, Atreus. Atreus. I mean, if you haven't played it by now, please do.
I could be so wrong, but is it this might be totally different like
Yeah,
franchise or something. Is it Valhalla or something? Is it that?
Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Okay, that's kind of what I was thinking, but I'm
Yeah,
like maybe that's gotta be.
no, I think it's just called God of War. I don't know why I just want to think it's called that, but
Mm.
Atreus. Spoilers. Jump ahead. Uh, Atreus, Kratos' son, finds out he's a god. Tries to go to the top. The whole game was go to the top of a mountain, dump the ashes of his wife on the highest peak of all the realms. Atreus finds out his giant name, which is he's a part giant, part god. His name is actually Loki. So he finds that out, and then that's where that game ends. And all through the game, there's like different gods being said, like Zeus. Poseidon was Poseidon brought up? I think it was Zeus, Thor, and Tyr, which Tyr of that realm set is the god of war. So to
Mm.
have Kratos from a different realm be that god of war into this
Mm.
realm and have that god of war, which is not seen but talked about, and then there's leaks of, or it wasn't leaks, it was um, um, what is it called? Game trailer?
Easter eggs?
No, no,
Oh,
no. It was
okay.
it was like a game trailer of Kratos opening this huge door, and they just have Atreus in the background being like, "Oh, I think we need to find Tyr," and Kratos is like, "Oh, he hasn't been around for ever. He hasn't been around," and then they open this door, and he's just on the ground. Tyr's on the floor, awake, alive, like captured, and was like, so the Kratos goes, "Are you gonna join us or not?" And then Tyr like brings his head up. He's got like these really glowy eyes, and he's like looking at him, and they're like face to face. And then Tyr stands up, and he's like towering over him.
Mm.
Like that, just oh, I'm getting chills just thinking about that. It's such a good franchise. I just want to play it. It's so good. Are you into God of War?
Um, I think we've talked about this or we've mentioned it before. Like I played whatever God of War game on it was either PS3 or PS2.
Okay, so the old
Um,
ones.
yeah.
I would, if you
I
haven't
haven't,
played the recent one, please indulge.
and I know a lot of people say it's great, so I definitely should. And I
It's
watched
on
the
Steam now,
he's
so you don't need
I
to have it on
watched
PlayStation.
Jev video, Phase Jev video where he played it or just like had like that little montage at the beginning,
Yeah,
and it looks like a great game. So yeah, I definitely just have to sit down and play it. So
it's on
definitely, yeah,
Steam now, so I mean, it's not PlayStation exclusive anymore. So
yeah,
hey,
yeah. It's always a good thing to see as well.
for sure.
So
Um, to move
well,
on, right?
I just wanted to say because we're talking about games,
Yeah.
when this airs, it's going to be technically 11, but 12/13 days. Good range.
Nice.
Um, the new Tiny Tina's Wonderlands
Ooh,
game comes out.
Borderlands spin-off, if you will.
And I've been glued to like anything dropping on
Yeah.
it, any little, like video here and there. I'm on like the website looking at stuff. I'm so hyped for that game. The reason why I say like the span of dates is because it comes out on the 25th of
Mm-hmm.
March. But at the same time, the time zone that we're in, it happened with Borderlands 3 as well. It came out the night before in our time.
Yeah.
So technically, I think I could play it the night of the 24th.
Right.
And then the reason why I said the different time dates, because we're filming this on the 12th, the Saturday, the day before the podcast goes up. So, but that's going to come out.
Keaton's gonna become so limited to the point where we're gonna only see him when we film videos. So
That's pretty much the point that I'm at right now.
yeah.
So, yes, like playing the game, granted, next week I have spring break, and so like I'll be playing it then, but it comes out the I think that's on a Friday. So I only have Friday, Saturday, Sunday,
Hmm.
and then I'm back to school. So I wish it came out like beginning of spring break week, because
Yeah.
then I could play it the entire time.
Yeah. They didn't time
But
that very well, but
no. So it's kind of unfortunate.
I mean, for
But
some people, spring break starts differently over the span of the nation. You know,
yeah.
because I've because summer vacation or was it spring? Like during our junior year, you go on TikTok and you see people like, "Oh, I'm at the beach for spring break,"
Yeah.
and it's just
Yeah.
like, dude, it starts in like 2 weeks. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
So it's just
Well,
weird.
and it's very different for colleges. Like even all the UW schools don't necessarily even have them at the same time.
Yeah.
And like a friend that I have that goes to a college in Ohio, his was this prior week.
Hmm.
And so it's just yeah, I don't know. I don't know why it's not all the same. I'm not sure, but
Yeah, you should know because you're like the all-seeing eye, but it's
oh,
fine.
that's true.
It's fine.
I'll have to that part of the brain is sleeping right
You're
now.
basically telling me you're a fraud right now, but it's fine.
Okay, next topic.
Right.
I just wanted to do a little mentioning of Bucks stuff.
Hmm.
From the last time we talked, the Bucks went against, if I remember correctly, the Heat.
Hmm.
They went against the Bulls, the Hornets, and the Suns.
Okay.
I think that's correct.
This should be. I don't
Um,
know.
but like again, all seeing eye. Really hard teams. We have the toughest remaining schedule. We have 15 games left. Oh, and so from last time we went against the Thunder and Hawks, beat both of them as well.
Hmm.
Granted, the Thunder's like not that great of a team, and then the Hawks are again like not the best team, but we still beat them. So it always counts on the scoreboard.
Right.
And so we're going in with 15 games left. We have the toughest schedule by far from any team. Um, but we have from where we're second in our division. So like
That's good.
we have we're 99% chance of getting into the playoffs. So like it would be really difficult for us to screw this up, is what
Right.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
So like with 15 games left, we have the toughest schedule, but there's still like a couple teams that like we know we should for sure beat. And so we're gonna be set to hit playoffs, I think. I mean, I would think anybody that, you know, I don't know, that is Bucks supporter or even just Bucks aware knows.
Yeah.
And so tonight we actually face Golden State Warriors. So again, like another tough game to do. We get lot of like concurrent away games. So it's just going to be a lot of traveling and facing in a row. Not a lot of breaks. It's going to be a real test to how good the team is. I know interview with Giannis. I want to say it was after the Suns game. I could be wrong about that. I want to say it was after the Suns game. He was talking about like the interviewer pretty much asked him about this schedule that he has. And he said, I'd rather have this than something easy. I'm pretty much paraphrasing. I'd rather
Yep.
have this than something easy just because this is going to be keeping us on our toes. So when we hit playoffs, we know like what we're doing good, what we got to work on, and then, get that
Get
championship
that
again.
bread.
So I think it is a great thing to have. Like, of course, if we weren't doing too hot and then we had these tough games in a row, then this would suck. But I think just because we're in the position we are, we're, again, ranked second right now. Granted, like 76ers are close, but like even if we go down to third or fourth, I mean, then we're still in playoffs and everything,
Right,
so it's
right.
all right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm definitely thinking of that as a positive situation that we're in. So, um, but going away from Bucks, really quick recap. Ryan, how much time we got?
I, I, I mean, I've paused a couple times, so I think 34. I think we're at
Okay,
34.
okay. Well, I think we can have a little debate.
Oh, all right. Okay, but maybe we're on the same side. Who knows?
Maybe. We don't know. Maybe we're on the same side. A little phenomenon
Yeah.
has come up in the internet, and it's the wheels versus the doors.
And it almost gives me the same vibe as what color is the dress,
Yeah, yeah, stuff
which
like that. Pretty much.
but
And so, for the people that don't know what it is, it's it's essentially a question that says, do you think there's more wheels in the world, or do you think there's more doors in the world?
right.
So, Ryan, what do you think?
Well, Mr. Skeeter, personally, I think there's more wheels in the world. Oh God, I
Well,
don't.
that's a little strange because I think there's more
Are
doors.
you so great? Okay, all right.
Now, I do want to preface, I learned about this morning.
Yeah,
Like I saw one post and it just said like the wheels are doors, which one has more in the world, and I just thought probably doors. So I could be persuaded probably pretty easily, just because again I'm not thinking on this, but I'd love to hear what you have to say,
yeah.
and I'll give my reasoning.
So, all right. Okay, when you think of a door, all right. What
Yeah,
classifies as a door? Something you
that
can
was
walk through, or is it something
that
you can
was
open and close?
that was another thing I was thinking of because people are talking about like advent calendars and they have the mini doors on them.
Right.
So it's like, does that count? But then you're thinking wheels. Is it just anything that
I think
is
anything,
flat and rolls? Because there's a lot of things that aren't,
because does a
like
steering wheel
wheels
count?
on cars.
Does a
Yeah,
st-
like steering
I think a
wheels.
tire counts because it's something you spin on.
Well, I mean, tires do count. But
Yes,
I'm saying is like buttons.
that's not a wheel.
They're the same exact shape as a wheel.
That's not a wheel.
You could roll it like a wheel.
But it's not used for that.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
So, but that's what I'm saying is like I think the like wideness of interpretation kind of scuffs this question.
I would say,
Because like again, like with the doors, like advent calendars,
regardless,
those are
I
doors. What about sliding doors? Those are
those
doors.
count. Yes, but they're on wheels. The sliding door is on a wheel. Maybe three or four of them.
And so yeah, it's just tough because you think, okay, well think about per house.
My goal here is to convert you to a wheeler. Okay?
Yeah.
Listen,
Well, okay, wait. So let me just my initial
I want you
reasoning.
to give your stance on doors, and I'm going to give you my stance on wheels, and I'm going to convert you to a wheeler.
Okay, I'm just gonna give you what I initially thought when I heard the question. I immediately went to, okay, the house I'm in right now. It has two front doors, back door. It's got the doors to, like each individual room,
Okay?
closet doors. You got bathroom doors. Some bathrooms, like the actual tub has a door. So let's just chalk it up to maybe like 20 doors average.
Okay.
All right. And then how many cars per house? Maybe average two.
I've heard the
So
statistic
that's
1.4 billion cars in the world.
okay. Wait, hold up. So, but I'm just saying, so maybe two cars per home.
Hmm.
So then that's only eight wheels to face 20-ish doors. But then you also think,
Cars have
do
doors.
then you also think cars. Let's say they're both vans.
Hmm.
Then that cancels out the wheels. So then you're already in a surplus of probably 20 doors per family.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So I just thought, okay, probably doors then.
All right.
So yeah,
You re-
that's
you
fine.
you ready?
Yeah. And well, and
So.
then you wait, and then you also talk about like, New York City, how many doors they got,
Hmm.
freaking elevator doors, all that type
Yep.
of
Yep.
stuff. Like big cities, even if it's like rural, then you're probably gonna have even less cars, less wheels per family.
Yeah.
Um, then like you said, it was like what,
1.4 billion
1.4?
cars.
So 1.4 billion cars, but that goes to 1.4 billion people at least to drive one of those cars. They each probably have a home that cancels out the car. So
Hmm.
I just think probably doors.
Okay. Well, here we go. Ready?
I have a door
Elevators.
right here.
Elevators. They
Yeah.
go up and down on wheels.
Yeah.
Okay. We
Little
got
pulley system.
whatever you're sitting on. You got probably six wheels underneath you.
Mm.
Cars have wheels. Not all cars have four doors.
Okay, but let's say they have two. That still cancels out two wheels.
Bicycles, two wheels. Unicycles got wheels. Tables have wheels sometimes.
Yeah.
Machines have wheels. And here's the big kicker. Never heard of a wheel and axle?
Yeah.
Doorknobs are wheel and axles.
Okay. Huh. Hmm.
Empire State Building, if you think about that, there's probably a lot of doors, but there also is probably more chairs with wheels than doors. Revolving doors are on wheels. And I have this TikTok, which I don't know if I'm going to pop it up on screen. I can do that. I'm going to either pop it up on screen or I'm going to talk about it. It's literally, if you can imagine a football stadium length, the floor is like wheels for some reason. It's a building with literally floor wheels. And if it's on screen, it should probably be right here or right here or right here. It's somewhere on the screen. But found that on TikTok. That blew my mind. I was team doors. Trust me. I thought the same thing. There's so many doors in the world. There just can't be more wheels. But then as I'm actually looking for wheels around the places I'm going, I see more wheels than doors.
They're everywhere. Ah.
Your closet is on wheels. It like you can't tell me there's more doors than wheels in the world.
Yeah, I saw some.
Legos.
I mean, you can make Lego door. I'm just saying.
Legos
Just because
have
you brought them up.
wheels.
But I'm just. I saw some posts of like some person saying like the wheel was invented in whatever age, and then the door was only invented until whatever date. And so like,
Wheelbarrows.
okay, that's only one. I'm
Third
just
world
saying.
countries, some people don't have doors or houses, but they have wheelbarrows. Do you get what I'm saying?
Dude, calm down. Chill. I'm literally explaining a point that helps you.
Yeah,
Chill.
go.
So I'm just saying, like, yeah, looking at it, probably like especially because of
Wheels.
that post. What?
Wheels.
Wheels have wheels.
Sorry, sorry.
Um, but yeah, like probably for how long, this spans because it's not just currently. Well, even probably currently helps it out more because of like machinery and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's probably more wheels than doors. But that was my initial thought was like, all right, let me break it down like how many doors and wheels per person, and that
Yeah.
was like my thought
For
process.
sure. I see.
So
I thought doors too. Hopefully, I converted you into the wheel gang. But could you say that you're a part of the wheel gang now?
um, I don't want to publicly state anything.
With my
If wait, I'll say this.
go
I
karts.
do think there are more wheels than doors.
Okay,
But I'm not a part of any gangs. That's not me.
that's
I'm
fine.
not
That's fine. Go
because
karts.
I don't want to go out, saying like I'm wheel the G word, and then people from door gangs start killing me.
Right.
So no thanks. I'll
Go
pass.
karts. They don't have
Yeah.
doors. They got wheels. All right.
Yo, what about the door manufacturers?
What about the
That's a lot of
wheel
doors.
manufacturers?
I guess that's a lot of wheels. You know how you get into the door warehouse? A door.
The door.
You don't get in with a wheel.
Revolving doors. Hey, how do you get your power if you don't got electricity? Rivers and wheels. All right. Anyway, let us know in the comments of this video if you're a part of the wheel gang or the door gang. Um, we'd like
Yeah,
to
it'd be great to
see.
hear.
I like to see the ratio of people.
And
Maybe you
what
don't care
I'm
about the topic at all, but
Yeah, that's true. But what I'm gonna put out there is there's probably gonna be some billionaire that's gonna take it so seriously. They're gonna start pumping out doors like crazy
yeah,
or wheels like crazy. Like they're just gonna start making them. You
oh,
know,
that's so sad. Yeah.
the metaverse. You don't know how many doors
Okay,
and wheels are
dude.
in there.
I'm just gonna create a video game full of wheels. Like,
Yeah.
but anyways, I think this is the end of our episode. To wrap everything up, what did we talk about? We talked about wheels versus doors, the thoughts that I have over the span of months that
Some
have no answer. Some
CDL, some
CDL,
Bucks, some
Bucks,
esports and sports
um,
combination.
games that are coming out this year.
Yeah.
If you did enjoy listening to our rambles of the day, please leave a 5-star review on whatever platform you're listening on, Spotify or iTunes. If you're on a YouTube video format, like the video down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. Wednesday content on the Glimpse YouTube channel at 4:30 on Wednesdays. The podcast comes out on Sunday at 7 p.m.
7
And
a.m.
the Spotify and iTunes comes out on 7 a.m. on Sunday
Yeah.
as well. Keaton, if you have anything else to say it now, and forever hold your
I
peace.
I really like the other Ryan more.
All right, this is the last time I'm coming on. This is the last
All
time,
right.
everybody.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.